Yeah, we're expecting the government really to create more decent jobs through the fishing industry and other industries, and also building domestic manufacturing, and not to rely on the multinational companies that are exploiting the Namibian workers. We are also demanding the increased government expenditure to combat declining public health funding, for increasing the national budget, and also allocating a lot of funds to the healthcare. We are expecting the budget to bring the hope to the citizens who are fed up with poor municipal services. As we all know that we got a poor road infrastructures, particularly in Walvis Bay. These things need to be solved. As you know, that Walvis Bay is a hub with ports, and a lot of trucks and other export and import things are going through Walvis Bay. We need also to have good houses or infrastructures, because many workers in Walvis Bay are still sleeping in the ghettos with their families, which is not good, while the industry creating billions of dollars. And also to improve the infrastructures in education sectors, because the classrooms where workers and other workers' children and other people are going is not in good conditions. So we need to inject a lot of money in those infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
The government is also expected to build industrial parks to promote entrepreneurs, because you cannot have entrepreneurs, you cannot really build the economy if you don't have entrepreneurs. And there's, if people want to come up with business, it's very difficult because they don't have a place to sell. You see a lot of people are selling in the street, and they are participating much more in the informal sectors or economy, which does not really create decent jobs, and they are very unregulated, and they are not even paying taxes. We need to have cheaper places where people can use to sell their products, because you cannot only rely on employment, because some workers are retrenched, or some workers are underpaid. They don't have a proper condition of employment. They need to create their own employment, and they can only do so if there's a proper infrastructure. The budget must also address unemployment, because you know that unemployment and poverty is very, very high in our society. And in order to create more jobs, you must allocate more funds to create employment. For example, building of the houses and other infrastructures are necessary, because we lack building in the country, because you don't have enough infrastructure. And when you are building, you are also creating employment. We need a lot of money to be invested in these sectors. And we also need and expecting the government to reduce irregular and wasteful and unnecessary government expenditure, because some of the money are spent where it's not necessary, and it's just a wasting of money. The government must inject a lot of money really in the health infrastructure, because really our hospitals are not in good condition, and we only have got one central hospital in Namibia. Then we know that now we are busy with implementation of universal medical aid, as the President has said, and also the national medical funds. We need a lot of infrastructure. How are we going to have a successful universal medical aid funds for workers to benefit in terms of their health, and also when they retire, to have enough money to use when they are retired? It's a problem. We really need a lot of infrastructure in that regard, and also the government to put more funds when we are starting with this type of system.
Mm-hmm.
We're also expecting the government to invest invest a lot in various sectors like tourists and so on. And also we have got the problem with electricity, which is very expensive, and you cannot grow the economy if you if the electricity is very expensive, the electricity must be affordable to the unemployed, the employees, and also the employers who are creating business. Because when you look at the price of electricity, it's really discouraging, and it does not promote our economy. We also expect the government to improve the condition of employment of the civil servants. We need to have a better people paid well. We need to put a lot of workers in the middle class so that they can afford to buy the basic needs. And we are expecting also that the government to invest money to increase the salary of the civil servants so that it attracts the professional to run the government. We're also expecting the government to allocate a lot of money on the Ministry of Justice and Labor so that they will be able to deal with cases like labor cases are taking longer. We have got the uptraders and co-traders who are not enough in the country. These cases sometimes they are taking 3 to 4 years. It's a problem. We need really the government to not to neglect this ministry and to but injecting a lot of money in the sector. Those are some of the issues we really expecting that it needs the attention of the Minister of Finance and the government as a whole.
Just in addition to what you're just highlighting now, Mr. Hango, of course, you pointed out and painted a picture of some of the biggest financial pressures facing fishermen at the moment. You are highlighting housing situations, the need for entrepreneurship, and other issues such as delayed cases and so forth. But how does TUCNA plan to collaborate with government on perhaps aquaculture projects for long-term employment gains for these fishermen?
The aquaculture project is very important. And it's necessary to train our workers and creating proper vocational training to train them, because agriculture is one of the sectors which can create more jobs. And the government really need to allocating a lot of money to that sector. And also to create a good environment for marketing, because a lot of products like fruit, food, which we are eating in Namibia are being exported from South Africa. Some people end up, of course, study agriculture and to create the employment for themselves, but the marketing is a problem because there's a lot of restriction, particularly the multinational companies do not want to accept the products that are made, that are produced in Namibia when it comes to food production. The fishermen also need to be promoted so that they can have their own employment. We cannot only rely on one sector like the fishing industry, but they need help. The Ministry of Labor, Justice, Labor, and that one of Agriculture need to work together in order to together with trade unions. Because most of the time, the problem which we are having is that when government are doing things, they are not really collaborating well with the union as a social partner. To discuss this type of issues and putting plans in place for the fishermen to be also self-employed, not only to rely on the fishing sectors or employment in the fishing sectors.
I mean, just in terms of the union strategy and moving forward, Mr. Hango, of course, if the budget falls short on perhaps fisheries, just talk to us about the union strategies and perhaps any negotiations that will be placed on the table. And also, just as we conclude this conversation, what would you consider perhaps a positive outcome for fishermen when the Minister of Finance tables the budget this week?
Yeah, the most important thing is really to for them to be trained, because most of the time we are only rely on, as I said, on one sector. And the outcome, they must engage the unions, because the problem which we are having is that sometimes when you try to have dialogue with the government, it's become a problem. The aquaculture is also very important. People need to train how to grow fish on shore, and also to help, so that they can produce their own fish. We have got a strategy that we need to come up with this type of training for our people, build up the infrastructure for vocational trainings in order for the people to be trained about aquaculture, because many countries, they are not only rely on the quota which we people are receiving from the government. They grow fish and then they sell fish, but you need a lot of trainings. There's a lot of countries like Chile who are producing a lot of millions of fish through aquaculture, and in Asia there's a lot of also people who are producing fish through aquaculture, like tilapias. But you just need a lot of training. You cannot just rely on the quota which people are getting from the government and catch the wild fish. So the training is very important. The government must put a lot of money in that sectors of aquaculture.